This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
It is a new year, and with that brings new opportunities, but also coming along with it are economic factors that have been hanging around for a little while, Abe. And so want to unpack, let's focus on the opportunity, right? Focus on the good. We got to, the ever underlying rule of every financial plan you ever built is hope for the best, but you must plan for the worst.
Absolutely. Yeah, we say be cautiously optimistic. We're always positive.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just
course.
who we are as a firm, but we're always constructive. We're always, well, not always, but we're bullish more than not, right?
Yeah,
don't want to be like the sky is falling type of firm, and we're not at all. We're always cautiously optimistic about the future and the markets.
But economic factors, they will always be with us. And so planning for them and finding the opportunities despite them is goals.
Right.
And so let's talk about that 5 areas specifically that retirees and pre-retirees can be looking at in 2026, because in this year, we're still going to see things like baby boomers continuing to retire at record numbers. Prices remain elevated. Social Security continues to face ongoing challenges, Abe, but smart savers, rather than just sitting around, head in the sand, hoping for the best, they are taking action to strengthen their plan despite these factors. So let's talk about these 5 opportunities we should consider in 2026.
Yeah. So first of the 5, number 1, review your portfolio. Like it's the beginning of the year. You would do the same thing for your life, or you should do the same thing for your life, right? Look back, like what went well for you over 2025, what went well, what didn't go well, what do you want to do more of, what do you want to do less of? Like take an assessment, take an audit of how your year went. And, there's a lot that's in your control that you can control. So control what you can. And obviously you want to do the same thing with your finances. Like what investments did you make that worked well, that you got good return on with the least amount of risk possible? What investments did you make and choices did you make that didn't go so well? And what do you want to do more of and less of? So you want to review, right? You just want to head into another year just blindly. Just a lot of people do. A lot of people do that. So you want to review your financial plan and portfolio. I would also ask, with the markets being up so much, I mean, we've been pretty much on a bull run since 2008, 2009. Like, yeah, we had COVID, but then we still had a good year in the market. Yes, we had 2022. That was a down 20 or so on the S&P. But 23, 24, and 25, we bounced right back.
Yep.
I mean, returns, on the S&P in 2025 were between 16 and 17. And in 23 and 24, I think we were in the 20s both years. So 2022 is like those losses are gone, and we've come out of that hole. But ask yourself, what would happen if the stock market did go down by, I don't know, something that would hurt, right? Like 30%.
Right.
And it didn't bounce back the next year, right? So you're retired or you're about to retire. Like, let's just say you're about to retire with $3 million and you lost 30%, which is a lot, right? And doesn't happen all the time. It might happen once every 20 years or twice every 20 years. I mean, based on the past, right? The last big loss was 2008.
Yep.
But that's less than 20 years ago.
And before
right?
that, the big loss was 2000. So if you do that math, you had 2000, 2008, that's less than 10 years apart. Like it can happen.
No, absolutely. You had the tech bubble as well in the early 2000s, where those 3 down years in a row, the S&P was down almost 50%. So if you're retiring into a downturn where you have a couple bad years or one bad year, you're just about to retire or you have retired, a lot of people are starting to dip into their life savings or want to dip into their life savings for income because their wages have ended, right? Their job's gone. They've retired. Naturally, you start dipping into your life savings for most people.
Yeah.
So if we're experiencing a big loss or series of losses and now we're taking money out at the same time, man, that can be devastating. Yeah. That can crush a portfolio if that happens.
Yep.
And if you're 10 years away and you're down by 30%, well, you got more time and you're buying the dip and you're buying at a 30% sale, that's a much different story for you. But, checking your portfolio out every 90 days or so, I mean, that's what we offer most of our clients. It's quarterly check-ins, quarterly investment reviews, just assessing the markets, the economy, their portfolios, their entire plan, how it's doing for them. Is it doing what we want it to do? Assessing and understanding your risk levels, rebalancing for stability if needed, calculating your savings and just the amount of money you have. You'd be surprised. Sometimes years go by before people do that, to determine how much you're going to need, leading up to retirement, unless you're already retired and you have your number.
Okay.
Well, again, if the markets have done really well, maybe it's time to take some chips off the table. I mean, some of the most successful investors in the world, like Warren Buffett, do this, right? He just retired, but literally almost every year they'll crush it in Apple or whatever stocks they're invested in, and they'll take some chips off the table. They'll reduce the position, go to cash, look for opportunities. Number 2, take advantage of higher contribution limits for 2026. Every single year, I believe every single year, the IRS increases the contribution limits for 401ks, TSPs, and IRAs to hedge against inflation, right, and to account for inflation. So for 2026, for 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, if you're 50 or younger, you can put away $24,500. So if you were making $100,000 a year, you could put away $24,500. Take that deduction, if that made sense for you, and your taxable income in that case is $75,000, $76,000. Obviously, there's other deductions too, but you get the point. You can put away $24,500. If you're 50 or older, you've got a catch-up contribution. An extra $8,000 can now go into the TSP, 401k, or 403b. That's $32,500. But be aware, this is a new change in 2025 and beyond. If you're 50 and older and have earned more than $150,000 in the year, those catch-up contributions in 2026 must be designated as Roth contributions. So you might have a little more taxable income, but all those catch-up contributions are going into a tax-free account. Also, if you're between the ages of 60 and 63, you have what's called, or the opportunity to take advantage of what's called a super catch-up contribution between 60 and 63 into your employer plan. You can put away an additional $11,250, so $3,250 more than someone 50 or older, for a total of $35,750 into a 401k, TSP, or 403b. Hey, it's a couple extra $1,000, an extra, $3,500 or so that we can contribute, but every dollar can add up and help us. So we want to take advantage of higher catch-up contributions and higher contribution limits. Third, we want to plan to hedge against inflation. Now, even if inflation cools, most economists expect it to stay above the Fed's target of 2%.
Okay.
To counteract that possibility, we want to make sure that we're investing, that we don't have too much cash, too much safe money that's sitting on the sidelines, not keeping up with inflation as much as it should. We want as much of the portfolio working as hard as possible for us to hedge against inflation. Number 4, if you have the opportunity, and this is available to you at your workplace as part of an employee benefit, take advantage of utilizing an HSA, health savings account.
Okay.
Health savings accounts offer triple tax benefits. You put the money in pre-taxed, which means you're taking a deduction on the contribution into the account, like a 401k. But opposite of a 401k or a pre-tax 401k, you're taking the deduction on the contribution, but it comes out tax-free if used for medical expenses. So withdrawals for healthcare are tax-free. You want to invest. The growth is also tax-free. That's a triple tax benefit, right? The deduction, the growth is tax-free. The withdrawal, if used for healthcare or medical reasons, is also tax-free. Invest in these early so you can use funds later for medical expenses when bills will likely be higher.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally,
nothing's getting cheaper, especially our medical bills in retirement.
Not healthcare. Not healthcare.
Yeah.
Finally, number 5, get intentional if you haven't already about 2 things. Your estate plan, that's your wills and trusts, and I would say in combination, your legacy plan.
Okay.
Now, you might be looking at me right now and saying, hey, Abe, my legacy plan is that by the time I pass, let's say I pass at 90 years old, every last dollar I've saved is spent. So I'm going to ski. I'm going to spend my kids' inheritance in retirement.
That's
you might be
funny.
looking at me
I've
and you
never
say,
heard that. I'm going to ski.
well, we do have a lot of clients that ski, but yeah, that's spending, not the actual skiing. But we have a lot of clients that say, you know what, Abe, whatever's left over is left over. I want to pass on my kids and my grandkids something, but it's not too big of a concern. Whatever's left over is left over.
Right.
And then the third group of people, it is really important. And I would say to me personally, just growing up the way we did financially with very little money, I want to pass on as much money as possible to my wife, our future kids, grandkids, my family, mom, brother, nieces, nephews, because we didn't have much growing up, right, at all. And so if I can do that, I want to do that. Well, when it comes to legacy planning, setting up the proper estate planning documents is really important. Wills, trusts, if necessary. When you're giving in retirement and you're age 70 and a half and older, one of the best places you can continue to give, talking about your legacy plan here, is through QCDs, qualified charitable distributions. They can lower taxable income. You can donate up to $111,000 per year. QCDs can only come out of a 401k or IRA, not a Roth, not a brokerage account. So your pre-taxed accounts directly from the IRA or 401k to the charity of your choice. That lowers your taxable income because it's not touching your accounts. And then, of course, it goes tax-free to the charities.
And it satisfies the RMD requirements, doesn't it?
It helps to satisfy the RMD requirement. Okay. Right, that's great. So if you had a $50,000 RMD that's due, which is not too much of a big one. I mean, if you've got a, $1.5 million account and you're 73, 74, 4% is what the first RMD is around in your early 70s, $60K. I mean, yeah, you could easily have an RMD of $50,000. You could donate all of it, some of it, none of it. But if you do donate it, again, lowers your taxable income. All that money goes tax-free to the charity of your choice. Mm-hmm. One of the best ways to continue to give, to tithe, to donate in retirement. And then
the charity doesn't have to pay taxes on it either.
They don't.
I think the QCD opportunity is a great one because it checks a lot of boxes for a lot. It's beneficial to a lot of different parties involved.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about them. And then obviously any money in Roth IRAs, Roth accounts can pass on tax-free. Right. And there is no better way to pass on money to your loved ones than 100% free of taxation. Mm-hmm. So hopefully those 5 tips help you as we head into 2026. There are always opportunities to look out for, to be aware of. Oftentimes you just need to understand the rules to the retirement game. Yeah. So you're taking full advantage of those opportunities that are important to you.
Well, the rules are constantly changing and evolving, which is why just planning for retirement continues to become more complex for people. But obviously, Abe, you and your team at Abish Financial working day in, day out to help simplify the process. And if you've got goals for 2026 to finally get your finances, your retirement plan, your legacy plan, your tax, all these things that are involved in order, Abe and his team, they are here for you. TheRetirementKey.com is where to go to start that conversation. Also want to let you know about Abe's book. Again, thinking about New Year resolutions. If you want to educate yourself, this is a great place to start. Abe has been in the business for over 20 years, and he took the time to write down what he has learned and knows so far in this book. It's an easy read. You can read it in a couple hours on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. And it's just a great place to start to get yourself some base retirement 101 type information. I mean, that was your goal, right? To just make it a simple place to start. Right.
Yeah, it's ideal for people who have not retired yet, who are maybe 3 to 5 years or less away from full retirement. They haven't retired yet, or they're early into retirement with a lot of planning work that can be done.
Okay, got it. Well, The Retirement Mountain, the 7 steps to a long-lasting retirement. Again, just trying to give you the information, so lots of ways for you to access it. Anybody who comes into the office will get a free copy of this book when you make an appointment. There's also, Abe has recorded an audio version that you can download via Amazon. We've got links in the show notes about ways you can connect to Amazon to buy the book. You can download a free PDF copy of the book to read it that way. Again, just looking to inform you, empower you with knowledge and information about your money, your future. It's a new year. If you have goals to begin this process, to finally get some things done, and Abe and his team, they are here to help you with all of that. So again, click on the links we got posted in the show notes, or find us anytime at TheRetirementKey.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit TheRetirementKey.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. Abish Financial Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and the content of this communication has not been approved or verified by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or by any state securities authority. The information contained in this material is intended to provide general information about Abish Financial Wealth Management and its services. It is not intended to offer investment advice. Investment advice will only be given after a client engages our services by executing the appropriate investment services agreement. Information regarding investment products and services are provided solely to read about our investment philosophy and our strategies.